Yes, guys, welcome to Goldmount Capitals. Thank you for plugging in once again. Today, I'm actually going to explain further in detail about the Forex markets and how you guys can profit from it just by sitting behind, looking at your smartphones and laptops. I personally got involved in the Forex markets about 3 years ago, and I actually haven't looked back ever since. However, I never had a proper mentoring system exactly like we are offering today, and we are putting forward to you guys today. And I actually had to learn the hard way. So yeah, what I'm going to actually show you guys is more depth into how every single one of you can profit from these forex markets, and in fact actually become absolutely financially free just from picking up your smartphone. So there's actually a full tree when it comes down to Forex and how the money is actually distributed down the chain. So it actually starts off from the prime banks, and which is the original prime or prime banks, yeah. Then it goes down to the prime of prime banks, which are a few people downwards from there, yeah. The prime banks right at the top are like the actual central banks of the countries. Then you got, as I mentioned, the prime of prime banks, which help distribute that money outwards. Then it goes on to the liquidity providers who hold all the liquid money in the country pretty much. Then you have the brokers. Brokers, whenever they need money, they get it from the liquidity providers. Then you have the hedge funds and institutional funds, which go out trading large individuals' capital and money. And then it goes down all the way to the retail traders, which is us. So here are a couple of examples of what I just explained in the Forex tree. So the prime banks are like the Citibank, HSBC, Credit Suisse. Yeah, the prime of prime banks are like Saxo Bank and Dukas Copy Bank. Our liquidity providers are those like Douche Bank. Brokers like IC Markets, Vantage, Oanda. Institutional traders are traders trading with 300,000 to 5 to 10 million, and retail traders are all us little guys, and we're actually classed as retail traders. Even those places like the foreign exchange places, when you go to an airport, they're also retail traders as well. So what happens when you actually press that button to make a trade? So when retail traders like us make a trade, the request is sent to the broker through a platform. Yeah, for example, to buy US dollars. The broker will find someone else from institutional traders who is selling US dollars. If no one is selling there, the brokers will buy from the liquidity provider, who immediately buys from the prime of prime banks, who buys from the prime banks. This is all done in nanoseconds. It follows the Forex tree. So what happens when you deposit your money into a broker? So here's an example. You deposit £100 into a broker. The broker will then transfer it up the ladder into the liquidity provider's account, who will transfer it up further into the prime of prime bank's account. And then they will transfer it into the main prime bank's accounts. Yeah, the money is not transferred as £100 alone. When it is sent to the liquidity providers and above, as many other traders also deposit, so a huge amount of money is transferred up in one go. So the same happens with your trade. The broker sends it up to the liquidity provider, who sends it up to the prime of prime bank, who sends it up to the prime bank. So there's three types of booking that comes down to when you're actually signing up for a broker. And in fact, in the whole of the broker's world, there are three types of books that every single customer, client, member is sitting in. So there's three types of books. There's an A book, there's a B book, and there's a C book. So I'm going to explain each and every single one of them to you, so you know exactly which one you should be. So when you are A booked, the broker does as stated in the previous slide regarding your deposit and trade. It is entered into the real market. So with the A book, your money, every single penny you put in, impacts onto the live exchange market. Yeah. With the B book, when you are B booked, the broker does not do as stated in the previous slide regarding your deposit and trade. The trade never enters the real market. Instead, if you lose that trade, they will make that money. With a B book, you do not want to be B booked, and the reason is because it's like trading against a casino. Yeah, with the A book, the difference between them, an A book, if you're trading the markets, every single one of your trades is going up the ladder directly to the banks the banks are paying you out the money and everything is all good. Yeah, when it's in the B book, the brokers are really hoping that you do not win that trade because they want to make that money off you. Yeah. So the final one is a C book. It's a mixture of A book and B book. So when you are C booked, there are two things that could happen. If you're a good trader, the broker will A book you and C book you. Yeah, this means that any trade you place, they will copy it for themselves too, since they know you will profit from it, and that way they can also profit from the same trade that you are placing too. If you are a really bad trader, on the other hand, you will be B booked and C booked. So any trade you place, the broker will place the exact trade but in the opposite direction for themselves, since they are so confident and so comfortable that you are going to lose that trade, meaning they won from themselves on the opposite trade that you have lost. So here's a bit of B booking in depth. When you are B booked, the broker acts as a casino. This means that any losses you make goes into the broker's pockets and any wins you make comes out the broker's pockets. They never enter your trade onto the real market. These brokers are called market makers. For them, a loser trader is the best trader in the world. So there's also something called stop hunting. So market makers do something known as stop hunting. Stop losses are placed to limit your losses on a specific trade. Brokers will look at your stop loss levels, and if the price is, for example, 2 pips away from your stop loss, the broker will push a button to change the spreads for you in that moment of time for a split second so that your trade hits stop loss and the brokers profit very heavily. So STP, NDD and ECN. I know they're three bunch of letters that mean absolutely nothing to you, but after this they'll mean so much to you. So STP actually stands for straight through processing. NDD is no dealer desk. So this type of broker typically routes some or all of your trade orders directly into the real market. This is a hybrid model between a market maker and an ECN broker. Some brokers say that they are STP while they are actually a market maker. So you got to watch out for these kinds of brokers and exactly how they do their dealings with the banks and the prime banks, and especially their liquidity providers. ECN also stands for Electronic Communications Network. So an ECN broker tends to have multiple market makers, liquidity providers, etc. all connected up when you place a trade. You are instantly matched up to the best available price in the market. ECN brokers have the tightest spreads and sometimes even zero spreads on highly volatile pairs. They do charge a commission, however. So how to tell if your broker is an NDD or market maker? So when you place a trade with an NDD or STP broker, it is called market execution. When a broker sets up the company and sets up the platform, they could choose you to have market execution or instant execution. How to tell the difference between market execution and instant execution? So market execution is when your trade is executed directly onto the real and live market. Yeah, so if your broker is using market execution, your orders will open a position at the broker's latest price, even when it is different from the one you see in your platform. The price may actually be the same as the one you see in the platform, or it may be only insignificantly different. So instant execution. Your trade is instantly executed. So market makers tend to use this. When instant execution is used, the broker will try to execute your order using the latest price in the platform. So there is a probability that the price changes while the order is processed. So you will receive a reply with a requote and you can either accept a new price or cancel the execution. So the market makers, basically, in all honesty, are the worst type of brokers you can actually come across. If you come across a market maker, try and do your best to stay away from him as much as possible and as far as possible. So turning a market maker into an STP. There are a few tricks you can use to try to turn the market maker to be an STP broker with you. In other words, you can have them to A-book you. So what you can do is actually invest a larger amount. You can use higher lot sizes, as brokers will not want to take a risk if you are opening 10 lots and above. Give their support a call and ask them what is the maximum amount of lots I can open, as this gets them worried. Yeah, and tell the support I do not want to be B-booked as I am running my trade off a VPS. Yeah, this will have them think that you are latency testing and can sometimes help you by having them put you in the A-book. So Forex trading platforms. There's actually multiple trading platforms out there, but the main one we definitely use is MetaTrader 4. Yeah, MT4 is an electronic trading platform widely used by online Forex traders. It is not owned by any Forex brokerage, and brokers lease out a license to use MT4 for their clients. This is what we will be using and will focus on the most. Yeah, there's also other ones out there like TradeStation, CTrader and NinjaTrader, and these three softwares will not be used by us too much. Yeah, TradeStation is good for analysis, however all trades should be executed on MT4. CTrader has been specially created so that you can be manipulated by brokers, and we recommend to stay away from them as much as possible. NinjaTrader is not supported by many brokers, as MT4 is a main platform used by every single main trader out there. So thank you guys once again for plugging in. Tune in to the next session. I hope you have actually taken in a high amount of knowledge, especially from this session as well. I look forward to catching you guys on the next video, so stay tuned. To gain more information, go log on to our website on www.gmcapitals.com.